This is Skip versus Ernestine. This is round 16.
16.
And I have a feeling this one's going to be a doozy.
Sweet 16. Sweet
Yeah.
16.
She's Ernestine from New York. She's my wife sometimes. And
maybe.
I'm Skip from Oklahoma City. I'm her husband all the time.
Sometimes. Oh,
Hopefully for the rest of the show. And
make it.
this is Hazel from Burbank, California. She's our quote-unquote
She's a
daughter,
valley
our
girl.
referee. She's our 8-year-old Maltese. She's still sporting her St. Patrick's Day
Yeah.
green
and she's a
feathers.
valley girl, so she's
Yeah.
loving the sun.
So we say it again. We do love and appreciate all your questions, all your
We do.
comments from all over the world. So in honor of that, let's kick it off with a question. This is from Bob from Madison, Wisconsin, who asks, why doesn't Ernestine ever hold Hazel during the show?
Yeah. I'd like to see that happen.
That's a good question.
The reason
She's
why
looking-
is because you're the magnet. If I have her, she'll go right over to you. All right? You. It's, the only reason she doesn't do that is if you're out of the house and then she just stays by me. But as soon as you walk in, then I don't see her for the rest of the day.
Okay. And the other problem is she's a terror. She
Yeah,
is
I
the warrior
can't.
princess.
She's like, you have
and
to wrangle her like an alligator.
you do. She's, I don't know why she's licking my hand. She likes something on my
I don't
hand.
know.
I don't have
Salt.
anything. And salt.
Salt.
I have no
On
idea.
your skin.
But-
your skin is salty.
She is difficult. She's hard to hold.
Yeah,
She's
she
very
is.
wiry, strong. And our producer, Tyler, is over there. And if he so much as flinches,
Moves
she
a
wants to go
muscle.
tear him apart.
She wants to kill him.
So it's very complicated to hold her during the show. And one reason I do hold her during the show is that if we try to put her elsewhere, she's just going to go crazy
No, she goes
because
like she's a nut.
she's
She's
a
a
nut.
total nut.
But
We
she's the
love her,
sweetest
but
nut ever.
She's a nut. So therefore, I cannot hold her.
And the point is, she does kind of hang with me all day.
She does. She's
She
like
loves her mom.
She's a Velcro dog.
Yeah.
She's a Velcro to you. Velcro dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday, I was watching basketball and golf all day
I
long,
know.
and she slept at my feet the
know.
whole long day.
Well,
And-
occasionally she wants to come out, but you won't let her out. So
I will let her out.
Oh,
I always say, go see your mom. Go see your
Yeah.
mom. And she'll last like
well, she
5
can't
minutes.
open the door. You tell her to go see your mom. The door
Yeah.
is closed unless she's going to ram through the door.
All right.
So there's the reason why.
Let's get to another question. This is from YouTube from Johnny Sneed 1128. This is actually a comment. Watching the same game in the same house and texting someone about it in a different room is insane behavior.
It is. It's totally
Okay.
insane.
But this happens all the
Well, it's-
time,
it's the
especially on
abnormal-
games of magnitude, because she doesn't want to endure me or suffer me while I'm
No,
watching
I've
a game
learned
that
over-
I've sort of bet my
I've
pride
learned
on.
over the years. In the beginning, I would sit with you, and then you started to go crazy, and I would put up with it, yelling and blah blah blah, the jinxes and all the craziness. Now I just want to remove myself, so I know. But it is insane. But as they say, the abnormal becomes the normal. So this abnormal world we live in has become our normal. So that's just one of the crazy things that are normal now for us, which
So
is abnormal for other people.
It does happen that during a big game such as the Super Bowl, because I picked the Eagles to win
Right.
it all before
Yeah.
the year started, you might text me during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'll text you.
You know,
but
it's
I
going
text you
good or
occasionally. I'll
whatever.
say, if I'm watching the Lakers game in
Yeah,
the living
Lakers,
room and you're
yeah.
in there,
Yeah.
or watching, I don't know, when I used to like the Spurs, we'd watch the Spurs or the Celtics, and I would text you and say, oh my God, did you see, is he okay? Whatever happened. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's normal.
that's not
for us.
insane. That's actually,
This
thank
is
you.
our normal, abnormal world we live in every day.
Okay. But what's about to be really abnormal is the event that you actually despise the most is starting now,
Oh,
this week.
March
You keep
Madness.
asking me, is this the week? Is this
It's
the week?
so Mickey Mouse to
Okay,
me.
she
I
thinks
cannot
it's Mickey
stand
Mouse.
it.
She hates college basketball, but she does like the NBA. It's her
I do.
favorite
I like
sport
the NBA.
of all.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. And
If I have to pick a sport.
yeah, the other night you said, well, you did used to like Duke when it was coached by Shabinsky, you said.
Right,
the other
I
night,
did.
Shabinsky.
I
I
was
think it was
close.
Krzyzewski, but close enough.
It was close.
Right?
I liked
Shabinsky.
him.
And I don't know what you liked about him.
I don't know. He
I
seemed
never
like a
really
nice
liked
guy.
him. He was nice enough.
He seemed
But,
like a nice man, and I
Okay.
liked watching him.
okay. But you never
He used
liked
to get red in the face too.
he did.
They all
But you
get
never
red.
liked anything about college basketball
No.
because you
They
think it's
start
just
crying.
a bunch
It's
of
just-
kids.
I can't
She
take
goes
it.
all the way back
To
Gonzaga
with
Adam Morrison,
Yes,
and
Adam
she
Morrison.
still to this day calls him the
Crybaby.
crybaby. He didn't even make it in the NBA, which I predicted he would
He was
fail.
crying all the time. Every time they lost, he cried.
Well, he cried when they lost. Now, I can't remember. I think it was the
I
regional
know, but
finals.
this is
Yeah.
now these kids are getting paid, aren't they?
Yeah. They're
Okay,
getting
so
paid
they're
a
getting
lot,
paid,
and they
so-
should be getting paid.
Right, so you can't cry. It's like that. My mother's favorite movie was League of Their Own, and she
No
would always
crying
quote
in
me
baseball.
the line, "There's no crying in baseball."
Yeah.
So you're getting paid millions of dollars. You can't sit there and cry because you lost the
Lay
game.
there and cry.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of insane behavior, a lot of people think it's insane that Bill Belichick, speaking of sports, at age 72, has a 24-year-old girlfriend and that he's now flaunting it on social media. So you've expressed to me some strong opinions about this. So the floor is yours.
I don't care how old someone is and how old the person is they're dating. That is not the issue here. Saturday night, I'm looking at my phone on Yahoo. There has to be at least 7 stories about Bill Belichick and his girlfriend.
On
Here's
Google,
the pic on Yahoo. It was on
Okay.
Yahoo, yeah.
Okay.
You know, when you pull up
All
Yahoo,
right.
the
Yeah.
news, Yahoo News.
Oh, okay.
There's
All right.
there's Bill with his girlfriend. He's on his back and she's doing a yoga position
On the beach,
on the
right?
beach. Okay,
Okay.
that's one. Then we have another one of the two of them Valentine's Day dinner and she's posting something. Here we are. Then there's another one, her defending the age. It's like, why do you have to flaunt this? That's the problem I have. I don't care that they're dating and maybe they're happy and maybe they're in love, which is great. I don't care how old somebody is. If they find love with the tree, go date the tree. I don't care. But it's just this constant in your face. And he looks so uncomfortable in the pictures. And I remember watching Belichick when you were the biggest Tom Brady fan for the Patriots. I always had respect for him because I thought he was classy. He was kind of pop in the way of the Spurs where when after they would
Greg
do the press
Popovich,
conference, he never really spoke that much. He was kind of curt and very arrogant and just kind of, very annoyed that they were even asking him what happened to the game. And I think he's a handsome guy. When he would wear the cutoff sweatshirt, I thought he was handsome on the field. But now he's become, I feel bad for him in these pictures. He looks so bad. He's almost like a puppet and she's holding him up and she's got the blouse with her boobs hanging out and she's using him as the reason to get the press, which, okay, but I feel bad for this man. And I just feel that why do you have to post 1,000 videos every single day? And now I read that he's included her in his new job, that they have to copy her on any social media emails going forward. So now she's part of that. So she's basically become the social media manager of their relationship. And that's where now it's going to be flooded. So that's my problem. I don't care about the age. I just care about why do you have to shove down everybody's throat? I know you don't have to read it, but it's just every time I look, there's another story. And so that's my beef.
Okay. I understand everything you said, but back to your point about he came across as classy in New England. I'm not sure he was ever classy to start with.
Well, that was just my perception watching him.
I think there's a lot of...
It was sophistication to me. And he
Okay.
was dating that woman for a long time that he was with.
Not his wife, but
No,
then,
the second one, but
yeah.
he was with her for 20
She
years.
ran his charitable
charity
foundation, I
foundation.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
They worked together and they would
Yeah.
be seen in public
Yeah,
at
she was
Celtics
nice.
games. But
Classy
he has a
looking.
lot of scoundrel in him because he did get caught
Yeah, I
cheating in
remember
what
that
was called
thing,
Spygate,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so all right, take away the classiness, but he was never in the news. He really was not seeking attention back then with Tom Brady. Tom was overshadowing him, but he wasn't someone that you would see with this woman gossip magazines. She was out at charity functions with them, but it wasn't as though they were trying to get press.
Yeah.
Now he's just become...
Okay. So it was news to you when we first discussed this that he's now the head coach in college football
I
at
didn't even know
North
that,
Carolina, University of North Carolina.
No, now I know, yes.
Okay. So now he's playing a completely different game because now you have to actually recruit 18-year-olds, 17 and 18-year-olds to play college football for maybe 3 or 4 years
Right.
for you. So there's no draft of players.
Yeah.
So it's a very different world that he's trying to crash because he's being paid a lot of money, and the people in charge at Carolina are going to want immediate results. So he's actually playing to the 18-year-old crowd with a 24-year-old girlfriend, as if to say to the kids out there, especially the males out there, old Bill's still got it.
Oh, I don't think
he's still got his fastball.
I totally think that's not going to help him. I don't think some 18-year-old guy is going to look and say, "Oh, look at he's dating this girl and she's got a low-cut blouse on and she's hot. So I'm now going to go with him." I think they would look at him and they would laugh. But
he needs attention. He needs publicity.
Getting the attention, but
remember,
I don't think it's the right reason.
He spent all those years in New England avoiding attention at every step. He tried to say the least possible in press conferences, and now he needs splash attention because he needs to put himself back on the map in college football.
But he can put himself back on the map just by his credibility of what he's done for all these years as a coach. You don't, that speaks for him.
But a lot of the kids just aren't aware enough of that. They
I'm
want
sure
this
they know
cool
who Tom
factor.
Brady was.
Well, yeah, but they want the cool factor of, he's got a hot girlfriend.
I don't think, honestly, my opinion, I don't think that's going to give him the credibility to these young guys. Wow, he's dating this 24-year-old. Now let's go sign with him.
Okay, I do. And I also
I don't think so.
He knows next to nothing about social media, and she probably knows a whole lot about social media because she's promoting
herself. It's not promoting, she's promoting him as a byproduct of her promotion.
So I understand why he would want her copied, because he would want her input on every social media endeavor that
I think he needs to get a new social media manager. I'm sorry.
Well, who's to say she isn't smart? Wouldn't she miss Maine or something?
So that makes her smart.
Well, maybe she knows how to promote herself on social media.
But she's promoting herself.
Maybe she's qualified to do that job. Well, I don't know.
Okay. Please.
Please? Okay, but you don't have a problem with 72 and 24?
No, I don't care if he was dating an 18-year-old. I have no problem with that at all.
I will warn him about this. I have no idea because I don't know anything about her, but will she eventually want to have, as she gets close to 30, children? Because if she does,
I'm sure he'll have
it ain't going to work. Do you think he'd have one?
Well, I guess they'll have him and they can put the birth on social media.
I know, but would she want a child with him? This could be like 4 or 5 years down the road when he's going on 80 years of age.
How much money does he make?
Is it? I forget what he makes now. Is it $10 million a year?
Well,
but he's made that much. He's made a lot of money over his time coaching the Patriots. A lot of money.
I don't know. I like Bill Belichick. I know you don't like him because of Tom and all that.
Well, I just thought Tom was the reason for that dynasty.
Yeah, okay, he was. But what I'm saying is, I never had a problem with Belichick. And again, I would watch him in the post interviews, and he seemed just very curt and just answer whatever questions, but he wasn't out in the social media world or in any People magazine, wherever. He wasn't splattered all over.
No,
he was under the radar.
Yeah.
So now that he's above the radar, but I don't think that...
Okay, does he look uncomfortable? Yes, he does.
He looks very uncomfortable.
Because he's never done this in his career life.
It's like she's propped him up, and he's just sitting there smiling for the camera. So I just think get another social media manager who's not that close and do the right social media that doesn't have to just have her in the picture with him.
Okay. All I know for sure is he better start winning a whole lot of football games, or North Carolina will have him on a short leash. Short leash. Maybe she's got him on a short leash.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. I know you also have a bone to pick with me. This is about watching movies or series with me, so... Go ahead.
It happened the other night.
Let me have it.
It happened the other night.
Okay.
We started watching that De Niro series, which I really like. Zero Day.
Yeah.
We watched it last week, and then I couldn't wait to watch the next couple of episodes. And I thought you liked it. And then I said, hey, you said, what do you want to watch? I said, hey, let's watch that De Niro series. And then you go, well, I don't know. I said, well, you don't like that already? Oh, I'm not. And then, it's like having a balloon, and then you just put the pin in the balloon, and then it just deflates. And the same thing, my best friend Francesca, she has the same thing with her husband. I'll say to her, what are you watching? She'll say, he doesn't like it anymore. It's no fun. It's no fun when you watch a series or a movie with somebody and they say, no, I'll watch it. And then I'm sitting there with you, and then you're looking at your phone and you've got your computer, and I'll say, oh my God, look what just happened. And you say, yeah, it's only a TV show, Ernestine. It's only a movie, Ernestine. They're home
You're like,
watching
oh
it.
my God.
Well, I get into it.
Is he going to make it out of this?
Well, you
they're
have to
home
buy
watching it.
into it for a half hour or an hour. Otherwise,
All right.
why are you watching it?
Okay. To defend myself on 0 day.
It's great.
Okay. The first episode was okay.
Yeah.
The second episode got slow and tedious to
Yeah,
me.
but then it
and I
got
wasn't
better.
sure where we were going.
Yeah.
And during the second episode, I looked over at my wife sitting next to me. She's
was
on
on
a
a recliner,
recliner.
sure.
And she's conked out.
Well, I didn't look like that, but yeah, okay. So I was sleeping, but I got up really
She was
early, and I
sleeping.
didn't
She
sleep
was
well the night
sleeping.
before.
Okay. Game over. Okay?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I don't like the show.
And we stopped watching episode 2 of 0 Day in mid-episode.
Because I fell
And
asleep.
then you picked your bone with me. You read the riot act to me, and you said, this is not fair to me. And I said, okay.
No, I said it's just no fun when you've already poured water on it.
But then the other night I said, okay, let's try it again. So we went back into the middle of episode 2, and it was okay. And then episode 3 got a little better.
It's really a good series. And
It's
De Niro is great. I'm sorry.
He's great. His presence alone is great.
De Niro
Once they took us into social media influencers, like the guy whose show where he gets, I don't want to give it away, but then it got good.
It's really good.
It got provocative and intriguing and riveting.
Stick with me. I know what's good on TV.
So we did watch episode 3. They're long episodes.
Yeah, they're great.
And it was pretty good.
It's getting really good. And
Okay,
he's great.
But
he's still De Niro.
You got to stop here. You got to come back over here.
No matter what, he is Taxi Driver. He still is the Godfather. He is everything he's in is wonderful.
One thing that does strike me though about it is he hates Donald Trump and has campaigned publicly against Donald Trump and everything Trump.
Yeah.
And his character is kind of Trumpish to me. No?
Maybe a little bit.
Like
but
hell with the Constitution. I'm just going to haul his ass in, right?
But I like that about the character.
Okay,
I think
well,
he's like
all right.
he's a wild man.
Okay, there's some things to like about Trump and his authority. He just says, damn it, we're going to do this.
I mean, maybe they did a little bit, but Angela Bassett is in it, and she's really good.
Okay.
They have some good people in it.
Jesse Plemons has lost like a ton of weight. You can't even recognize him.
He looks amazing, but he's really good in it.
Yeah, looked past tense. I won't say anything more, but
I think he still looks. I think he looks good.
No, I'm talking about the plot. But
okay. Whatever.
Okay, so to defend myself further on this issue, just for the record, there are many times that I want to watch something, and you just immediately, without any understanding or any give and take, you just dismiss.
I can tell you what they are. You put on something and they're already in a fighter plane and it's World War II and they're killing people. So that's one. Or they're in a foxhole.
I'm not even talking about those.
They're in a foxhole and the guy's limbs are being blown off. That's number 2. Just as if I'm about to eat dinner and then there's somebody being shot and pummeled because it's some I don't know, like a training day thing. I can't stand, I don't like violence. I don't like upsetment, but I can watch Die Hard. It's a different kind.
All right. And John Wick, it's extremely violent, but you think it's like cartoon violence.
I love it. And Keanu Reeves, anything he's in.
Any hot guy, she's good with.
No, it's not just a hot guy. The story is good.
Okay. Well, it's great.
It's great. You love John Wick.
Okay. All right. So the movie that won the Academy Award this year, Anora, I just said, hey, if it wins the Academy Award, I'm just going to watch it because I want to see why.
Tyler loved it.
Yeah, I know. Our producer loved it. Okay. I'm sure a lot of people who voted for it.
Won.
Okay. And I'm thinking, I just need to know why.
I don't care about the why.
I couldn't get her to even start it, so I had to watch it running on the treadmill. And for 2
and you didn't even love it.
Treadmill sessions, the whole middle of it is B-movie-ish. That they go on this late night, overnight search for the guy, and it's like, what's the movie you used to like?
After Hours.
After Hours about New York. It's like After
Griffin
Hours
Dunn,
in New York.
favorite.
Okay, it's way back when, but
it's a cult movie. Yeah.
But I could have cut 30 minutes out of this movie. But I will say this: the last scene is a shocker because it's disturbing and arresting and sort of psyche shaking where you don't see it coming and then it happens. And I wanted to be able to discuss with you because it would have been great to be able to discuss it. And you didn't give me that.
No, I don't want to see it. Some of them I just have no
Okay,
interest in.
but you don't even listen. You just dismiss out of hand.
I dismiss it.
Like it's just over.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we love some of the Taylor Sheridan stuff.
Yeah.
Most of it, if not all of it. But
Lioness is great.
yeah, but we liked
1923 was good when it first came out.
What was the first one? 1883, right? Okay, that was tremendous.
That was amazing.
Talking about riveting.
Yeah, that was great.
And the first season of 1923 was very good, and we couldn't wait for the second season. We had to wait
with
a
Helen
year.
Mirren and Harrison Ford.
And what's your guy's name?
Which one?
Who played James Bond? Timothy Dalton.
Oh, Timothy Dalton, who I love.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so you got all that going on. And we watched the first episode of season 2, and she just said, I'm out. Okay.
It was terrible.
Okay. So
you thought it was bad too.
I thought it wasn't good. I'll say that. It wasn't
well,
good.
If something's not good, then that's bad.
But now, the other day on the treadmill, I'm banging away on the treadmill. I watched the second episode.
Did you like it?
It was a little better than the first one.
Really?
I will give you. It's like it's lost its way.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem. But I'm waiting for the young guy who's like the grandson to get home. He's stuck in Africa.
Yeah, I think he's in White Lotus, or he was in White Lotus.
Okay, I don't know him.
Lotuses.
Yeah, I'm not sure about him, but he's on the way home. Yeah. But he was on a ship trying to come across the Atlantic back to America, and you didn't like what happened where he was boxing for money, right? Fighting for money.
I don't know. I think it's kind of, it's lost, when he first came out with the Westerns, it was so new to everybody in the world, and it was, oh my God, this is great. And now it's hard to keep it. Like Yellowstone was incredible. We loved Yellowstone. We watched it before anybody even knew what Yellowstone was. Remember, we were watching and we'd say to people, we love Yellowstone. What's that? Then when everyone caught on, towards the end, it started to get a little long in the tooth. Yeah. When it became just about her, the daughter, and what's her name? Can't think of her name in this show. Yeah. And the guy.
Agreed.
It was like, what happened to Kevin Costner?
And then once Kevin Costner was completely out, we didn't, Beth. Yeah. Once Kevin Costner was gone, we just said we're out. Yeah, so we did not watch the final season. But I think
that's what's happening with this one. After a while, there's just so much you could do on it.
Okay. So, again, Kevin Costner, I've never thought he had any edge to him whatsoever. That's why it didn't work in Waterworld, even though I liked Waterworld. He just isn't edgy enough. He's not gutsy.
But he was good in those where he played the two. Remember those two movies came out where he was really good. The Secret Service guy.
But he was born to play this John Dutton, I think his name was, as the patriarch of that Yellowstone spread.
That was amazing.
Okay. All right. So, by the way, Honora with Mikey Madison. Yeah, I'm going to make you watch it just because I would watch it again just to check out to see how it builds to the final scene. So we're going to do that.
You can watch it with Tyler. He loved it.
All right. This is Jennifer from Waco, Texas, who asks, what's the longest you have ever gone without arguing?
We don't argue all the time.
Like 3 minutes and 24 seconds. That's our record.
You know what? There are two different definitions of arguing. My definition and your definition. I don't know what everybody else's definition of arguing. I think arguing, we could just have something where I say, hey, I don't want to watch that. And you say, well, I don't want to watch this. Okay. Is that an argument? I don't think so.
Sometimes you pick arguments with me out of the blue where there's no need to argue at all. And you get combative and unreasonable. And I'm like, well, why are you starting this with me?
That's different. I don't know.
And it's almost like you pick on me to make sure that I do love you. Like if I respond with emotion, then it proves that I love you.
Please prove to me that you. That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. Okay. See, that could turn into an argument.
Well, maybe it's New York versus Oklahoma City.
I think that's definitely what it is.
Okay, because I grew up in a house where if you started to fight, you fought.
But that's the thing. I told you this.
And it could end your relationship.
It's the Jewish, Italian, New York, me, Oklahoma. What's your background? American. What is it?
WASPy.
WASPy, All-American.
White Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Right, okay.
Okay.
It's different. We have passion and loudness, and it is what it is. You store everything, and then you blow up, and then you're mad for 2-3 weeks. it's better to be this way. Will you just knock it out?
Okay, but you constantly pick, like before the show is starting, you're going to help me sort of put some eyebrow pencil on my eyebrows because they're so...
You don't have a lot of eyebrows.
I don't have a lot
You've never
of
had a
eyebrows.
lot of
Never
eyebrows.
have.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get ready, and then one thing led to another, and you said, turn over here. And I said, I'm turning. I'm trying to get ready for the show.
But how is
and
that's
now
not
you're
an
just
argument.
going off on me. And it was like, what am I doing?
What do you mean?
You're picking on me before the show.
Hey, could you help me with my brows? I say, yeah, okay. And your head is down reading something. How can I do your brows when you're looking down at your paper? Any makeup artist would say, excuse me, could you lift your head up? There you go. It's not an argument. It's just saying. Went. Right. We argued about how many times we've argued.
There's a time and a place to argue, and you always pick the wrong time and the wrong place and argue. It's like pick your battles, and you pick the littlest battles.
You misconstrue.
And turn them into wars with me.
No, you just have a problem. You don't understand. It's just called life. Life. It's not always about arguments. It's just life.
I will give you this. Your arguments come and go in like a minute.
Because they're not really arguments.
They end, and then all of a sudden we're back. And if we ever do blow up, to your credit, if there's a real fight that ensues,
yes,
then a few minutes later you come in and you extend your hand out,
come on, get over it. We talked about this before, but the thing is, like putting your head down to look at the paper while I'm supposed to do your eyebrows, that's not an argument to me. That's just like, lift your head up so I can do it, and then you get an attitude, oh, I'm trying to do this. Okay, how would I do your brows?
Just be nice and say, hey, just look up for a second.
Oh, excuse me. Can you just...
come on.
Excuse me.
That's what I would say to you because I wouldn't want to... I'd have to tiptoe.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
Okay.
She knows the truth.
She knows. She just rolls her eyes at us. She doesn't get upset by anything.
She don't know.
When we do, like, yell at each other, she doesn't care at all. It doesn't bother her. She doesn't
she's used to it.
Whimper,
she's lived here for her whole life.
She says it's just
what
happens,
normal,
right?
The abnormal world I live in.
She's being very sweet right now.
She's very nice.
Okay. All right.
She's afraid we're going to yell at her.
That's true. Okay, since this is Rip Skip Day here on the show.
God. Oh, my God.
It's time for another Ernestine pet peeve about me. This one concerns when we're going out somewhere, and I say, let's leave in 15 minutes. And you say, okay, and take it away.
That's so wrong. First of all, if we have to go somewhere, say we're going to the store, we're going to meet somebody for dinner or lunch, or we're just meeting somebody or going out somewhere. You go to me, you want to leave in like 15 minutes? I say, yeah, okay. So I'm dressed, I'm done, I'm waiting by the door. You're not anywhere. And then I go in and I see you're just about to take a shower. And I go, are you just taking a shower now? And you go, I'm done. I go, how are you done if you have to go take a shower? Or else I walk in and you're sitting there in your underwear and you're looking at your computer. And I go to you. What are you doing? You want to go? And then you go, I'm done. What about you? Or I'll walk by and you go, are you done? And I say, do you think look at what I'm wearing and look at what you're wearing.
Over 20 years is 15 minutes for you to leave this house is 25 minutes.
That is
you have to build in an extra 10 minutes.
No, listen, I used to meet a friend for a movie and they were always late. And so when I would tell them, meet me at 1:00, the movie didn't start till 1:30. I knew that they would show up at 1:30. Okay, so I know about that. But this is not true. You never are on time when it comes to, you come in, you'll see me and you'll go, are you ready to leave? And I say, do you see I'm standing here, I'm done, completely done head to toe. And you go, and you're in your underwear. And I go, what about you? It just takes me 1 minute.
Okay, do you know how many times I've sat by the front door on the little chair there where you take your shoes off when you come bench? Yes. I've just sat on the bench waiting. And finally I say, Ernestine, are you coming? And you say, I've just got to pee. I got to pee. Whatever.
No, 2 minutes, I always say.
Okay. Okay. And then when we take Hazel to the mall on Saturdays, I put on our leash and we're ready to go. And we're just sitting and waiting. And I finally decide I'll just sit and wait reading my computer.
Right.
Like in my underwear, because all I have to do is throw my clothes on. It'll take 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes. And if she comes in and says, I'm ready, that means she's about 5 minutes from leaving, because then she'll say, I got to get the treats for her to take to the mall, and I got to get the nuts for the squirrels that she feeds the squirrels with.
Right. I have to get the water. It's like I have to plan a picnic.
It's like a picnic going to the mall.
So you could preempt that by just getting all the stuff ready, so I don't have to do it.
Okay, but I'm just trying to kill time waiting for you on your time, because I do respect your time, because it's what I live with. I live on your time.
Oh,
I do.
Oh, that's the whole. That could be another. Let's table that for another time.
Okay,
we live on my time.
All right, so now it's my turn.
Yeah,
time for my issue of the week.
Oh God.
When we say goodnight every night, sometimes you say "love you," which is what you say to your best friend Francesca when you're ending a phone call with Francesca.
Well, you listening to my phone calls with Francesca?
No, I just hear you say "love you," and I always say "I love you," because "love you" just seems so sort of superficial, so abbreviated, so best friendsy instead of husband and wifey to me. I don't know. It's like when I'm texting with Lil Wayne, I'm more likely to say "love you, man" instead of "I love you," though he will say to me sometimes I love you, or I effing love you. I'm sure
should I say to you,
okay,
love you, man?
But
when I say
I just don't love you. Like love you is
dismissive. It seems to me the same thing. I love you.
It's like an air kiss to me.
Oh, okay.
Love you. It's like a California air kiss on both cheeks, where you just go like that.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'm guilty of doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I love you, because if you truly love somebody, not that you don't love Francesca, but it's like
a different love. She's
I know
my best friend.
she's your best friend, but you're not going to say I love you. Although my best friend Craig and his son Sam in Oklahoma City, they'll flat. I talked to them the other day, and they'll just flat out at the end of the phone call say, "Hey, I love you," and
that's nice.
Beautiful. It's like
but I
real.
say I love you tons of times throughout the day.
But sometimes you just are in a hurry and you say love you.
Okay, well.
And
then
it just sort of leaves me flat.
All right, well, then I'm guilty of that.
So you're accepting that
I'm
I won that one?
Yeah, you won that. I don't have any rebuttal here.
Finally won one.
All right.
Okay.
I love you.
This is Jonathan from Cheyenne, Wyoming, who asks, my wife and I are going through a divorce after nearly 15 years of marriage. How much time would you suggest until someone who is divorced goes back into dating? Good question. I'm not sure we're qualified to answer said question, but try.
I think it depends. If you're divorced and you're happy about it, then I say go out with somebody that night. Who cares? You're trying to get back into life. But if you're the one that didn't want the divorce, I still think that you have to get back, because I think that you can't sit around.
Yeah.
You have to just...
I think we'd need both to know more about the circumstance, a little more detail, because to your point, if the marriage has been in decline and it's just one of those things that is no longer meant to be, and both of you believe you're just sort of worn out with each other, and it takes time to come to grips with it, and then it takes time to say, okay, let's get a lawyer or whatever you have to do to unhook, then that's the one where, I don't know, you might already be at least talking to somebody else that you have your eye on. And when you are officially divorced, if you want to go out the first night, I'm good with it, because your heart would be free.
But it's not as though when you lose someone, when someone passes, that's, I grew up in a house, again, mostly Italians do this, when somebody passes, and Jewish do too, but they think you have to not see someone for a year. You have to wear black and you're in mourning for a year, and that's different. But I think if you're going to divorce, I say you should just go out with somebody as soon as you can and move on.
Unless you get blindsided and you're madly still in love, and you find out that your husband / wife is
dating
out and that they've got somebody else.
Yeah, that's a heartache.
It's a soul crusher, and it's hard to pull yourself up out of that pit.
You see somebody else. When you see someone, you still see that person's face. You don't want to be with anybody else.
We have friends who are going through that right now, and it's just impossible. And I don't have a duration on it. It's what your heart will tell you when you're ready.
It's just sad.
And this is just me, a little different from you, but I'm going to trust God to say, here, it's time, and I'm going to ease you over here to her. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
I think you just got to keep yourself going.
Because I'd been out of a relationship when I met you for a good solid year.
Yeah.
I didn't even go out on one date because I
Right.
just didn't feel like it.
Right.
And it wasn't that I was deeply in, I was, I don't know if love's the right word, but I'd been with that woman for Lerv, as Woody Allen would say. And it had gone on for a long time, but again, we were still friends, and yet I just didn't feel like doing that. And I was starting a new job and network TV.
You had busy stuff.
I had busy stuff, and then God said, "Let there be Ernestine" at my show in the green room during the show.
A bolt of lightning came down.
And it was a bolt, and it hit me right in the heart. And it was literally love at first sight.
Oh, wow.
Well, it was.
Oh, thank you.
Look at us now. We're still hanging in there 20 years later. So that's a tricky answer that is, we don't have an exact on it. It depends on what your situation was as to how your situation will be.
You have to keep going. You just can't, you can't crumble. You got to keep going.
Well, I do believe even if you've lost your life partner to disease or whatever terrible tragedy happens, I do think you need to move on. You need to move on.
You can't
as soon as possible.
With that person.
Right. You can, although some people do. And then they tend to not live that much longer. Right? Okay.
Especially older.
This is Andre from Miami, Florida, who asks, Skip, you have shared that you attend church every or nearly every Sunday. Ernestine, do you go to temple on a regular basis, and have you gone to temple together?
I do not go to temple on a regular basis. I used to go with my mom occasionally. She didn't go all the time, but we used to go. And we have never gone to temple together. But I go to church. I have gone to church with you.
Yes, you have. From day one, you started going in New York City to a Methodist church with me, which I appreciated very much. And I think you were okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't think you've loved the church here in LA as much.
No.
Also a Methodist church.
No.
And you don't go as regularly with me as you used to. I think you kind of got mad about it. I don't know.
Well, I also, for me, I don't need to go to a church. You feel better going to a church, and you feel better in that, that environment of you're in a church and you have a Bible and you can pray your own little way there. I don't feel I need that. I can just do my own thing.
So she was not raised Jewish. She was raised a little Catholic and went to some masses, and a little Jewish and went to some temples.
Yeah.
But she's never asked me to go to temple because she's not interested in going to temple.
No.
So you're welcome to go to church with me any Sunday.
Thank you. Okay. Any Sunday.
I do like the church I go to.
You do. You like it. You like it. But that's okay.
Okay.
You can.
All right. Okay. This is either Ivan or Yvonne. We're not sure how to pronounce it.
Ivan.
Let's go Ivan from Bulgaria. We got a question all the way from Bulgaria who asks, I've lost interest in withstanding my point, which wasn't the case before. I see how passionate you both are about everything. How have you managed to keep this through the years? Okay, I think he means about arguing, making his point.
Point of view.
Yeah, with his friends or people around him. That how do you continue to have the passion? He's just saying, I've lost the energy to even argue my points, so I just swallow it. I don't even engage about whatever point I believe in. So how do you stay passionate for your points? Well, you're certainly passionate with me about all your points.
I'm with friends. I'm not. I know where to. My father would have this saying. He'd say, "Never discuss politics, religion, or your paycheck with your friends." And those are three areas that tend to be really touchy.
Yeah.
And I've seen it, especially when Trump was running, and I had friends that were very Republican, and they just kept shoving it down my throat to the point where I couldn't deal with it anymore. And I didn't want to fight them, and I didn't want to have an argument. I just stopped seeing them.
Okay. I do believe she is still extremely opinionated, and with her best friends, she will express very strongly her opinions about a lot of things.
But we're very similar.
Yeah, you are.
My friends that I'm very close with.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So I'll never forget, way back in my early newspaper column writing days, this is probably early 80s, I would say. I was talking to a friend of mine in Denver who was close to my first partner on air, Woody Page. This guy was Buddy Martin, who was I think then sports editor in Denver. Mm-hmm. And he had gone to visit a great novelist who lived in Colorado named Leon Uris, Uris. You could look him up. Uh-huh. And Buddy said he was asking him for sort of career advice, and that Leon Uris, the great author, mm-hmm. said, and I quote, "Stay angry." Wow. That the essence of creativity is staying angry. Well, I'm still very angry about a lot of things, and it propels me, it rocket fuels me. And frankly, it spills over into our quote unquote arguments because I am naturally argumentative and defensive of my point because my passion remains extremely high. So I leap out of bed every day to express myself in the sports realm. Right. And that's why I can do full shows on the Skip Bayless show.
Right. No, you're good at being by yourself.
That I can just fly solo and just launch into topic after topic. True. And somebody could say, once the great Frank DeFord, who wrote at Sports Illustrated, may he rest in peace, late great Frank, one of the best writers, maybe the best sports writer I ever read.
Wow.
Once asked me when he tried to hire me to go to Sports Illustrated. Let's see, I was at the 1985 New York Marathon. I just run the marathon. So he was trying to hire me in 85, and I ended up staying in Dallas with the Dallas Times-Herald. But he said, how do you come up with 5 column ideas a week? He said, I couldn't come up with one.
Wow.
And I said, I have 10. I mean, my problem is what not to write about.
Well, you're
yeah. I spill over with topics, with opinions that are big opinions. They're not little, and they're not faked, and they're not reaches. No. They're legit, bona fide, knock 'em dead, go for the throat opinions, because I do stay angry.
Right, if you're angry about a lot of things in life. But I think what Ivan was saying is that he's tired of trying to make a point, I guess, with people that you can't argue with. You know, after a while, you have to know when to stop. You know, there's no point to it with some people. You're never going to win.
Yeah. If you want to talk about stay angry, oh God.
Yeah.
She stays crazy angry.
She's permanently angry.
Yeah. And she is extremely opinionated, and she will talk back to me and to you when she wants to do something and you say no.
Yeah,
she talks right back. She just barks right back at you with a high-pitched voice.
She lives in this house. Again, we're back to the abnormal normal.
Yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day in retrospect.
She can't contest that one.
This is from YouTube, Zion Castaños, I believe it is, 8057. I lost my cat and dog this week, but this made me feel better because we had talked about potentially losing her. And would she go to doggy? Is there a doggy heaven? Yes, there is a doggy heaven.
I actually bought 2 of my friends who one lost their dog last year and then one just lost their dog this year. And there was a great book on Amazon that I bought them, and it's all about dogs and spirits in heaven.
Beautiful.
They really loved it. So
I always say humans tend to live too long for their bodies, and dogs never seem to live long enough. So we're trying to just cherish the days we have with our 8-year-old, because you have to accept.
Maybe she'll get another one.
Maybe.
Dog
cat. Yeah. For sure. I think it was a he. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But anyway, thank you for that.
Yeah.
But you just have to love the time that you have and accept the fact that their clock is ticking a little faster than yours, although we could well be gone before she is. You never know. Okay.
God help us.
All right. This is another YouTuber, at Christine from Alexandria, Virginia, who asks, would you ever hire a dog walker?
Forget it.
This
one
Christine,
was a dog walker?
You don't get it.
The dog walker would come back with no arms.
No arms.
Maybe no leg.
Like
an
Anchorman.
Anchorman.
Right.
When they go for the fight.
Anchorman, right.
Is it Luke Wilson or Owen
It's
Wilson? I always confuse him with the dark hair. Is that Luke? I think it's Luke.
Luke. It's Luke Wilson, who at the end he
They're
ends
fighting
up
and he gets his arms
well in the
taken.
gang fight with the TV stations. He
Right.
loses one arm,
Right.
and then at the very end, I think a bear takes his arm off.
Or Tim Robbins. I can't remember what it was. He says, "I hate when that happens. Get his
when that
arm
happens.
taken off." She would go nutty.
Hey,
She's not good with somebody else.
I know.
Unfortunately,
I know that's true. But she.
if I go to I try to put her
she would
harness
walk
on.
the dog walker. Trust me, that's the problem. Is the dog walker would get walked.
But when
as in
I try
walked
to, I
over.
try to put her harness on her. I have to hold her like a contortionist because she's going to bite me while I'm trying to put the
I
harness on.
don't know
her.
why she has this reflex biting.
She
where
wants to go out,
when
but
you
she
try to
doesn't want you
strap
to
her
put
harness on. She just. I say, no biting. You always laugh
we don't
at
even
me.
keep
No
a
biting.
collar on her in the house because
No.
she doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, no biting because she just reflex when you try to strap it
Yeah,
underneath
she's
and buckle it. She just
abnormal.
she tries to bite. I say, why would you bite me? You want to go outside and you're trying to
Yeah.
bite me, putting your leash on.
Abnormal is our
Okay,
normal.
we tried, and maybe we just didn't raise her right. But I
Probably.
do love her
I'd
spirit.
blame us.
It's just hard, and yet
What can we do?
we walk her.
Yeah.
And you have a hard time walking her by yourself or
Yeah,
with your
'cause
sister
other-
Joyce because you just don't trust
Well,
what
if
could
anybody
happen.
comes along, then she's just
Whew.
heat-seeking missile to kill them.
Okay. All right, that is it for round 16. We will see you again next week. That's if we're still speaking.